You've already lived a part of your life that you will never remember, not 1 second of it. You were there for it all the day you were born. The first time you opened your eyes, the first voice you ever heard, it all happened and yet it's completely gone. Most people think they know why. You were just too young. Your brain wasn't developed. You couldn't form memories yet. Simple. But that explanation is wrong because your brain wasn't failing to record your life. It was recording everything. Your earliest memories didn't disappear because they were never saved. They disappeared because something erased them. Over 100 years ago, a man named Sigmund Freud gave this phenomenon a name, infantile amnesia. But naming it didn't explain it for decades. Scientists were stuck with a strange contradiction. Babies clearly learn they recognize faces, they react to voices, they remember patterns. So how can a brain that learns so quickly forget everything in the 1980s? A psychologist named Carolyn Rovey Collier ran a simple experiment. She tied a ribbon from a baby's ankle to a mobile hanging above a crib. When the baby kicked, the mobile moved, and almost instantly the baby understood the connection. Kick, move, kick again, move again. They learned. But here's what made the experiment important. When those same babies came back later, they remembered even very young infants could hold on to that memory for days. Older babies could remember for weeks. So now the mystery got deeper. Your brain could store memories, it could recall them. So why are they all gone now? The first answer lies deep inside your brain in a structure called the hippocampus. This is where memories are built. Every moment you remember today passes through this system. But in early life, that system isn't fully ready. Connections are incomplete. The pathways are still forming. The structure itself is still under construction. So while memories can form, they aren't stable. They don't have a place to stay. But that's only part of the story. Because even unstable memories shouldn't completely vanish. Something else is happening. Something far more destructive. In 2014, 2 neuroscientists made a discovery that changed everything. They asked a strange question. What if your brain doesn't just forget? What if it deletes in your earliest years? Your brain is growing faster than at any other time in your life. New neurons are being created constantly. This process is called neurogenesis, and it's essential. It's how your brain builds itself. But here's the problem. Every time a new neuron is added, it doesn't just connect, it rearranges. It disrupts what was already there, including your memories. To test this, scientists ran experiments on mice. When they increased brain growth, the mice started forgetting things they already knew. When they slowed that growth, the mice remembered longer. The conclusion was shocking. Your brain wasn't too weak to remember it, was too busy rebuilding itself. Imagine writing something important on a whiteboard, and every few seconds, someone wipes parts of it away to make space for new writing. That's what your brain was doing. Your earliest memories weren't lost. They were overwritten, erased by your own development. But there's another layer, and this one is even harder to think about. To remember something as a personal experience, you need to understand one thing, that it happened to you. You need a sense of self. But early in life, that doesn't exist yet. There is no clear boundary between you and the world. No identity, no narrator, no, this happened to me. Scientists tested this with a simple mirror experiment. A small mark is placed on a baby's face. Then the baby is placed in front of a mirror. Young infants don't recognize themselves. They think it's another child, but around 18 to 24 months, something changes. They touch their own face. They realize that's me. And that moment, that awareness lines up almost perfectly with the first memories people can actually keep, which leads to a strange idea. I don't remember being a baby, partly because there was no you, yet not the version of you that exists now. But there's still one more piece: language before you learn to speak. Your experiences were raw, pure sensation, light, sound, touch, emotion, but they had no structure, no labels, no story, no way to organize them. Once you learned language, everything changed. Now, you could describe events, recall them, share them, and most importantly, store them in a way that lasts without language. Experiences are like water with no container. They exist, then disappear. And this isn't the same for everyone. Your culture actually affects how far back you can remember. In places where parents constantly talk to children about the past, memories form earlier in cultures where less emphasis is placed on. Personal storytelling memories begin later, which means something incredible. The way people talk to you as a child literally shapes how much of your life you get to keep. So when you try to remember your earliest years and find nothing, it's not because nothing was there, it's because everything was happening at once. Your brain was still being built. New neurons were rewriting old ones. You had no stable sense of self and no language to hold on to your experiences. It wasn't one reason, it was all of them at the same time. time. Every human being on Earth has lived through this, a hidden part of life, completely erased. And maybe the strangest part of all is this: the person you were back then is gone. Not just forgotten, but fundamentally replaced. Your brain rebuilt itself, your identity formed, your memories began, and in the process, the earliest version of you had to disappear. So the next time you look at a photo of yourself as a baby, ask yourself something. Are you looking at your past or someone who no longer exists?